Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
We do have breaking news. This is out of Oxford this afternoon, where 20 students have filed a new lawsuit against Oxford Community Schools.
Yeah, and their goal is forcing policy changes in the district. Let's go live now to Local 4's Priya Mann. She joins us this afternoon. Priya, what do we know about this lawsuit?
Well, Everett, Rhonda, I think the most important thing to know right off the bat is that these families are not looking for a financial settlement. They're looking for policy changes. They say there has just been a huge breakdown of trust between the community and the district. So now they're turning to the federal courts to step in. The parents of these 20 plaintiffs say they're not getting answers or transparency from the Oxford Community School District's board. They say little has been done to open the lines of communication since that horrific school shooting at the end of November. And they're deeply frustrated that 3 offers by the AG's office to look into what led up to the shooting have been rejected. So here's the policy changes these families are hoping a federal judge will implement, starting with a fully transparent and independent third-party investigation of the actions and events leading up to the school shooting, ending the practice of concealing and minimizing threats of violence, and returning students to class when there's been no disciplinary issue. They also want training for staff regarding risk and threat assessments, the restriction of students from returning to class if they're suicidal or pose a risk to themselves or others, and training about what constitutes a legal search of students' belongings when that student poses a safety risk. Take a listen to what one of the parents had to say just a few moments ago.
Putting our children's names in a federal lawsuit is a desperate attempt. It's a desperate attempt to be heard. With the lack of investigation, there is a lack of transparency. With the lack of transparency, there's a lack of accountability. If there is no accountability, trust cannot be rebuilt. As parents, we are supposed to have the schools back, and the school's doing X, Y, and Z. Okay, it's safe that you go to school. You're okay. You can get through the week. We can't do that right now because there is not transparency, and there's still a lack in communication, and things are still being hidden from us. We can't work as a team with the school as it stands right now. So filing this lawsuit it's a desperate attempt.
Now you can just hear the frustration in that mother's voice. 4 parents of these plaintiffs spoke today. We're going to hear more from them coming up tonight. And these plaintiffs, by the way, range from freshmen to seniors. So we're going to hear a lot more from the district as well as parents coming up tonight. Reporting live at federal court, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
All right, Priya, thank you for the update there.
Also breaking this afternoon, Larry Nassar has lost his last appeal in his sexual assault case.
Yeah, the Michigan Supreme Court rejected a final appeal from Nassar. He was sentenced to decades in prison for sexually assaulting gymnasts, including Olympic medalists. Attorneys for the disgraced doctor said that he was treated unfairly in 2018 and deserved a new hearing based on vengeful remarks by Ingham County Judge Rosemary Aquilina.
The state Supreme Court said that Nassar's appeal was a closed question and that it had concerns over the judge's conduct. But the court also noted that Judge Aquilina stuck to the sentencing agreement worked out by lawyers in the case.
The FDA has authorized Pfizer's 3-dose vaccine for kids 6 months to 4 years old and Moderna's 2-dose vaccine for kids 6 months to 5 years old.
So the CDC still has to sign off on the vaccines before kids can actually receive the vaccine. But the CDC will be reviewing the data this afternoon, and they are expected to vote on the measure tomorrow. If approved, the White House expects vaccinations to begin as soon as Tuesday. Now to M14 at Beck Road. It does remain closed this afternoon because of a deadly crash. A 37-year-old woman was killed in this crash. Police say that M14 was slow because of lane closures, and that was construction related when a woman rear-ended another car at a high speed. We're told that the woman killed was not wearing a seatbelt, and an investigation is underway.
And now to a wild scene in Southfield after a car drives right into a house.
So this is what happened near the Southfield Freeway. Let's get to Grant Herms. He is on the scene to show us what happened.
Investigators believe that driver was potentially involved in another accident here at Southfield Road in Alta Vista before heading down Alta Vista towards Continental, making for a very scary morning for neighbors.
It sounded like a garbage truck, and I really thought it was the garbage truck coming, but I realized today is not Wednesday and it's Friday.
Neighbors waking to the sounds and sights of a car driven by an older man that hit 2 houses along Continental in Southfield.
Ran over there, tried to help get him out. By the time I got over there, he was already getting him out of the car.
Valerie Bryant was in her home when the car came careening across the lawn, hitting her neighbor's home first, then hers.
His head was bam, hard. And then the thing hit again, bam, the second time. That's when it hit our house. And that impact had the smoke when I came outside. What in the world was that? He said that he think the brakes went out on his car.
Rescue crews did take that driver to the hospital and then got to work on making sure these homes didn't collapse. Support beams up within minutes.
All of these guys are highly skilled in what they do, and they're stabilizing it right now so that that corner there does not fall.
That's what the training's for. The technical rescue team in Southfield, we handle building collapse, trench collapse, confined space, rope rescue, water rescue, whatever happens.
Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt.
Luck happens sometimes. Very fortunate there weren't any kids out. Nobody in the house was injured, so that's the best part.
And again, that driver was taken to Providence Hospital. Last check, the chief said he is stable. In Southfield, Grant Herms, Local 4.
Thankfully, no injuries, and that just lets you know the work of our first responders and firefighters, able to stabilize homes. They're prepared for anything. And
very true. If you stepped outside at all today, you might have noticed not just the sun, but the wind. It was a little windy.
Very windy, Brandon. It'll make it difficult for anyone playing a little golf or tennis later.
There you go. And you saw on Priya's live shot that that wind is whipping around. And it is bringing cooler air in. We've got middle upper 70s. Actually have 80 City Airport, 77 Pontiac, 77 Ann Arbor, 77 Harrow, Ontario. And comparing noon temps today to yesterday, we're 4 to 8 degrees cooler than we were this time yesterday. And again, thanks in large part to this wind. We had a front come through yesterday, and now we're getting these breezes upwards of 15 to 20. And those winds are also driving over the Great Lakes and pushing showers and storms across Illinois and Indiana farther south. So we are good to go. Rockin' rides, perhaps in Royal Oak this afternoon. It's Local 4 free Friday until 5 a.m. So you get in free, and we're looking at low 80s, lots of sun, just a little bit of a bumpy ride on some of our local lakes, golf courses, and tennis courts.
All righty, Brendan, thank you. Right now, we want to give you an update on our gas prices. Prices across Metro Detroit, they're down a penny from Thursday to about $5.29 per gallon. That is for a gallon of regular. Statewide prices are also down to about $5.19 per gallon. The national average is right there at $5. But here's the thing. Experts with Gas Buddies say that there's a real possibility that prices across the state could dip below $5 a gallon soon. So fill up.
Yes, definitely fill up when you can ever find it under $5, that's for sure, whether you're empty or not. Michigan GOP candidate Ryan Kelly hit with new restrictions while facing misdemeanor charges related to the January 6th insurrection. A judge barred Kelly from possessing a firearm or traveling outside of the state. The judge did agree to allow in-state travel. Right now, Kelly is charged for his alleged role in the January 6th attack at the U.S. Capitol. He was arrested last Friday at his home in Allendale. Kelly is back in court, due back in court on July 7th.
Well, we heard pretty stunning testimony on Thursday about former President Trump's attempts to pressure former Vice President Mike Pence into rejecting the 2020 election results. This as the January 6th committee gives the public a behind-the-scenes look at the day the rioters stormed the Capitol. NBC's Bree Jackson is in Washington for us this afternoon with a recap of the hearing.
Witnesses testified that former President Donald Trump pressured his Vice President Mike Pence to reject electors, even though Pence did not have the authority to do so. A vice president under pressure.
What the president wanted the vice president to do was not just wrong. It was illegal, and unconstitutional.
During the third public hearing of the House committee investigating the Capitol insurrection, testimony centered around former President Trump's failed attempts to pressure his own vice president to overturn the 2020 election results, an illegal strategy pushed by Trump attorney John Eastman.
It is unambiguous that the vice president does not have the authority to reject electors. There is no suggestion of any kind that it does.
Trump's inner circle testifying about taunts and heated conversations after Pence refused to carry out demands.
It was a different tone than I'd heard him take with the vice president before.
I remember hearing the word wimp. Either he called him a wimp. I don't remember if he said, "You are a wimp, you'll be a wimp."
Never before seen images show Pence sheltering underground as rioters stormed the U.S. Capitol, making phone calls to Pentagon and congressional leaders. The mob coming within 40 feet of the then vice president as he was rushed to a secure location.
We're fortunate for Mr. Pence's courage on January 6th. Our democracy came dangerously close to catastrophe.
Republicans call the hearings a distraction.
What are they focused on? What gets their primetime billing? It is their seething hatred for Donald Trump and anybody who's ever supported him.
Committee members say Trump's pressure campaign contributed to the January 6th attack, putting Pence's life in danger that day and making the case that the danger to democracy still exists. The next public hearing is scheduled for Tuesday. We expect to hear testimony about former President Trump's pressure campaign on state election officials in places like Georgia to overturn election results there. In Washington, I'm Bree Jackson for NBC News.
Bree, thank you. Still ahead, a Help Me Hank recall alert for you this afternoon.
Yeah, we'll tell you what you need to know about a recall involving thousands of medication bottles. We'll take a closer look at that. Plus, extradition approved. The UK has approved WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange and his extradition back to the United States.
And before we head to break, we want to remind you of several programming changes for this evening. This afternoon, we will be airing the U.S. Open Golf Tournament. That starts at 4 p.m. Our Local 4 newscast first at 4, as well as Local 4 News at 5 and 6 will be streaming exclusively on Local 4 Plus and click on Detroit.com. We'll be right back.
FanDuel Casino lets you play your favorite casino games risk-free up to $1,000. So you can play blackjack, Wheel of Fortune, live dealer roulette, and more. Plus, if you don't win, you'll get up to $1,000 back. And unlike other casinos, we make it easy to withdraw your bonus cash. Just play through it once and any winnings are yours. Don't miss out on your chance to play a full day of your favorite casino games risk-free up to $1,000. Download FanDuel Casino today.
Right now, get a 36-month lease on the 2022 Silverado Crew Cab 4x4 for just $349 a month with $15.99 down. And please, help us support our local animal shelters with any new pet-friendly items during our Pick Up for Paws promotion going on now through June 30th. Visit HamiltonChevy.com for details.
The best deals to be found at 14 Mile and Mound.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
At Johnsonville, we ask crazy questions every day. Like, what if we made strips of sausage that look like bacon? Would they taste better than bacon? Turns out 1 in 4 Americans like Johnsonville sausage strips better than bacon. Then we asked, can someone who likes sausage strips better than bacon still be considered American? Then we remembered. You can't spell sausage without USA. Johnsonville sausage strips, better than bacon, and possibly more American.
With broken supply chains and lives disrupted, businesses like Amazon have invested to deliver on time for you and help hundreds of thousands of small businesses gain access to millions of online shoppers. But Washington politicians have a law that could break Prime's guaranteed 2-day free delivery, threatening our fragile economic recovery. Tell Senator Peters, don't break our Prime. Oppose S 2992. Paid for by CCIA.
Tonight, Amber Heard one-on-one with Savannah Guthrie. Her first interview since the trial against ex-husband Johnny Depp. What you didn't see in the courtroom.
So you don't blame the jury?
The primetime exclusive interview. Tonight, 8/7 Central on NBC.
I was hypnotized.
Welcome back. A West Michigan plant that makes baby formula is trying to get over another setback so that it can help alleviate the national shortage. The Abbott plant over in Sturgis, Michigan has had to stop production shortly after restarting. You might remember severe weather flooded inside of the plant, and now it needs to be repaired and then re-sanitized. And this will likely delay production and distribution of new products for weeks, in fact. But the FDA says that it does have enough formula to meet the current demand. In the meantime, another plane load of baby formula touched down this morning. This was in Columbus, Ohio. The plane was carrying 85,000 cans of baby formula. That was coming from Australia. And that's enough formula to make 1.85 million 8-ounce bottles of baby formula. Those cans will now be distributed to locations throughout the region to help ease the shortage of baby formula that's impacting the country.
Britain has approved Julian Assange's extradition to the United States. The decision is potentially a decisive step toward the WikiLeaks co-founder facing criminal charges. Assange is wanted in the United States to face trial on 18 charges, including breaking espionage laws after WikiLeaks released thousands of secret U.S. files in 2010. Assange has 14 days to appeal the decision. He has denied any wrongdoing.
And now to this Help Me Hank recall alert for thousands of medication bottles from Kroger and Walgreens.
And more than 400,000 bottles of acetaminophen, ibuprofen, and aspirin are being recalled over child-proofing issues. So it has to do with the caps on these bottles, not the medication inside. Officials say that children can open the bottles and accidentally ingest the medications inside. All of the bottles are branded either Walgreens or Kroger, and you can find a full list of the recalled products at the CPSC's website.
Alrighty, still to come, we are getting ready to celebrate all of our fathers and father figures this weekend.
Yes, we are, and Brandon is tracking our Father's Day weekend forecast when we come back.